son. Where'd you find this?
Just do it! Make your dreams come true!
A few moments later.
You are now listening to Podcast 42, the world's most popular, inaccurate, and sometimes squirreled retelling of pop culture history.
Why do you keep singing the shark song?
What is the shark song?
Baby
I don't know either.
Shark, baby shark,
Didn't you get Lucas to listen to that stuff too?
No, he was listening to it, but I knew that song beforehand because Sam and I knew that song because there's a way to make a funny sound with your hand, and so one of us would sing the words and the other one would be making the music.
It's all over the internet. I posted it in the group, JL, but don't listen to it. It'll drive you crazy.
All right, good to know.
And on that note, it's time for Podcast 42.
Oh, good. She'll be listening to this episode.
I'm Christopher DeVos.
I'm Nicole Fasone.
I'm JL Tros.
And I'm Faraz. Hey,
Hey.
Faraz.
Hey! It's
Faraz.
appropriate for you to be saying, hey!
It's Faraz.
Faraz.
Well, let's start off with the beer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's open up that beer cooler.
JL beer cooler, it's cooler than you think. JL beer cooler, it's cool enough to drink. It's cool enough to drink, yeah.
It looks cool. This looks awesome.
What is this?
This is from Destihl Brewery. At least I think that's how it's pronounced. From their Deadhead IPA series, because I know how much Chris loves IPAs. It is their Soundboard Session IPA.
Soundboard Session. Now, it is low ABV, it's low IBU, and it says support flavor, boycott bland. Our Deadhead IPA series melds the strong vibe of music we love with the beer we love to drink, elevating both into a higher state of consciousness.
Label gets a 6.
The label is awesome. It's very cool. I didn't even open it yet. I'm just looking and admiring.
Well, stay tuned for the...
Before we go on the air, Nicole, you know this.
Yes. Stay tuned for the end of the episode, and you'll get our rating and what we think of this
The
beer.
label reminds me of Spinal from Killer Instinct.
I don't know what any of
How
those
many are
words
you
mean.
opening, Nicole?
I have my beer, and then I have my chaser beer, just like you do.
Yeah, but I already opened my chaser beer.
Spinal is like a skeleton pirate warrior.
I got some foreshadowing for the end of the beer cooler segment at the end.
Ooh, what's that?
Couple sips in, and that's all I'm going to say for now.
You say so much with saying so little.
Let's hope it keeps up. Let's just hope it keeps up, because sometimes we all change our minds halfway
That's
through.
true.
That is very true.
First
and
sips can be
if
misleading.
anybody's listened to the show religiously, you know my disdain for IPAs, big time. Mm-hmm. But I'm growing. JL has grown, made my beer knowledge and appreciation. He has matured it. He's massaged it. He's raised me from a little tiny beer bud into a full-grown beer plant.
Can I tell you something? Sorry,
That's
did
the
you have
first time anybody's ever used me and mature in the same sentence.
He was your cicerone.
fun facts? No, I was just going to say that is the perfect description and segue into the topic that we are talking about.
Neil Degrassi.
No, so close.
Oh.
But the team,
Neil Girardo.
the show Degrassi, that is the show that I grew up with. It's the show that taught me a lot and helped me mature into the person that I am today.
Mature.
Hold your laughs. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, so I'm very excited to be talking about this. There's a lot of times where I don't know anything about the topic that you guys are talking about, so now you get to be on the other side of the fence.
It's complete
So,
role reversal.
It's
Listen.
great.
I did a lot of research for this, all right? Because I don't like going in blind.
You did? Did you
did.
watch the clips that I sent you? Because I
did.
made sure to find
I
clips
did.
to send you.
I watched every single clip.
You did?
I did.
The 7-minute video about the shooting?
I did.
Well, let's see,
Oh.
because it's time for Pop Quiz.
Yay!
And this pop quiz is called The Internet Has a Lot of Jokes About Drake in a Wheelchair.
Or
High School Still Sucks, even in the nicest country in the world.
Which is Canada, because it's a Canadian show.
It's a Canadian show. There's 5
That's
general.
one of the questions.
That could have been, yeah.
It could have been number 1.
whoops.
It's always the easiest.
Well, good. There you go. There's your answer.
5 general knowledge facts on the show Degrassi. In order of the easiest to the hardest to test your knowledge. Score 1 point for each correct answer. Question 1. Who shot Jimmy? Question
Well, good.
1.
You watched the clip, so you should know.
Hold on. This is the biggest shooting since Who Shot JR, okay? So hold on.
Somebody's going to be surprised. Question 2. What is Snake's real name? The character Snake, what is his real name? Or her name. Could be a her. I don't want to give anything away. Snake's name. Goes by Snake. Not born with the Snake name. Born with a different name. Question number 3. What character had an abortion?
Is this multiple choice?
Has there been more than one character that had an abortion?
As of recently, yes.
I think this is the junior high one.
Junior high? Wow,
Just
why
list
would
as many characters as you know that might have had an abortion. I've got one answer. One answer I'm looking for, but if you know more than one aborted character...
This is a great show. I'm telling you, it taught me a lot.
Feel free to name all aborted. Do not be looking in the script.
Cheater. This is your topic.
Well, because he's saying junior high, which is the original one.
I think it's the junior high one.
We'll find out.
Oh, we'll find out. All right. What is Dwayne's favorite name to call Joey? This is question number 4. What is Dwayne's favorite name to call Joey?
Why did you go for all the Degrassi junior high? And
I'm unfamiliar with the show. I had to have a lot of help with the quiz. I don't know what... This show's got like 17 different incarnations.
Fair.
So... Are you cheating, JL?
He is cheating.
I was gonna, but she put her hands over it.
Okay.
I do it every week.
Question number 5. When BLT dumped Michelle, what did he say she cried like?
Wait, what did you... What?
when BLT...
Reaction.
When BLT dumped Michelle, BLT was dating Michelle.
Right, okay, yeah.
He dumped her.
Picturing this, okay.
Or she dumped
Got it,
her.
okay.
I'm not sure because
Right.
they did a lot of themes.
The sandwich dumped the person.
Oh, it was a he. BLT dumped Michelle. What did he say that Michelle cried like? He said he dumped her. She was crying, and he said, "You cry like this," but not. He didn't use the word "this." He used what she actually cried like. BLT, the character BLT.
There was really a character named BLT.
Yeah, bacon, lettuce, tomato. All right, pencils down. Pop quiz.
Nicole didn't correct you this time. She didn't say pens.
Huh?
You always say pencils down.
Oh, now
she
who's
always
playing Nicole?
says
It's
pens.
like you're clueless this week.
She's looking up the answers in the script.
No, I'm not. I'm looking to see how much we talk about Degrassi junior high and high. I tried to make it even across the spectrum.
I
just
don't
making
know.
Sure.
All right, who shot Jimmy? Faraz?
The guy with the long hair and glasses. Ricky or something?
Ah,
I don't know. JL?
I have Rick.
And Nicole?
Rick Murray.
Yay, everybody got that one
Yay!
right.
Good job, guys. I'm so proud of you.
Question number 2. What is Snake's real name? JL?
Archie Simpson.
Wow.
For
It's like a
us?
full-on name there. I put Cat.
Cat? Cat's nickname was Snake?
Yes.
Nicole?
Archibald Simpson.
All right. We got 2 correct answers, and that'd be JL and Faraz.
Yay.
Okay.
What?
Good job, JL. I'm
What
so
character
proud of
had
you.
an abortion? Nicole, what's your list of characters?
So Manny is the one that I know for sure had an abortion. It was a very big controversial thing at the time.
All right.
Lola on Degrassi The Next Class on Netflix had an abortion as well. And
Oh,
I
my.
think the girl on the original Degrassi, her name began with an E, but I'm not, like Erica, maybe, I think was her name. So I'm going to go with Erica. That will be my answer.
Okay. Faraz?
Pass.
I had Roe versus Wade. But I'm thinking...
It's Canada. I don't think that applied
I'm
there.
thinking Erica.
Okay, she just listed like 16 different names.
Lola.
And you're going with one of those names. The one that she's most unsure of, you're going with that one.
Erica.
Okay. JL?
I have Erica.
I had Erica. That's the answer I had. I don't know about all your other aborted characters.
No, Manny, that was a whole I will talk about that.
I do
when
not
we
have
get to
Manny,
it.
that's for sure.
All right, question number 4. What is Dwayne's favorite name to call Joey? JL.
Cockroach.
Nicole.
Jeremiah?
Faraz.
Uncle Joe.
JL, you're right. It's cockroach.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is cockroach.
What? Oh, wow, JL.
Wow,
I'm really
JL
so
up
proud of
Nicole
you.
on the
I think you're
Degrassi knowledge.
4 out of 4 so far. Wow. All
Did
right.
you give him the answers beforehand?
Why would I do that?
I'm just making sure.
That would be...
You're questioning my research capabilities.
No, I'm impressed.
I'm
So
I'm a
much that
little
it's
hurt
just
right
a
now.
little suspicious.
And
but,
the integrity of the quiz as a whole.
I know.
but I'm not wholeheartedly accusing him because you saw my I was
Just because you only watched 2 episodes of The Twilight Zone when we gave you 10, 20-minute episodes to watch does not mean I didn't watch everything that you sent me.
okay.
All right. Question number 5.
Do you watch everything I send you?
No. I usually just scroll down.
When BLT dumped Michelle, what did he say she cried like? Nicole.
I said a sick puppy.
Faraz.
An Uzi grilled cheese.
An Uzi grilled cheese.
What does that sound like? You need
Oh, I
to
have to, like a sound? Like she cried.
Yeah,
it was
cried like an Uzi grilled cheese.
So there has to be a sound for it.
That's a sizzle.
That's a snake. That's what snake's real name is.
It's like the cheese oozing out of it because it's getting too hot.
Jail.
I went with the most Canadian thing I could think of and something I grew up by.
Moosehead.
Niagara Falls.
The answer is Niagara Falls.
Oh, God.
Jail is 5 for 5. I don't know if anyone's ever done that before. Awesome. Good job.
Wow.
All right, let's get into
It's
the meat of this.
It's impressive. Shocking and unexpected, but nonetheless impressive. I will say that.
Don't hate. Appreciate.
I'm not hating.
Are you giving him a proverbial bow?
Sure.
Is it-
Whatever it takes, I know I can make it through. That is the opening line for the decades-running Canadian teen soap franchise, Degrassi. The show was acclaimed for its realistic depiction of everyday children's lives and tribulations, covering what it's like to be a student dealing with a wide-ranging list of social issues.
Okay, hold on a second. Was it really dealing with everyday
Children's
Canadian
lives?
Yes.
social issues.
I didn't go through any of these issues.
Because
Plenty of
they
things.
had issues upon issues.
Yes. It is known for being
And I know
the
plenty of
cursed
Canadians,
school.
and I've never heard of them going through these issues. Right, Faraz?
You know, I've never heard of Degrassi until my aunt was visiting from Canada. She was telling Nicole and me about like what became of my old high school in Canada, in Winnipeg. Mm-hmm. And Nicole,
Wait a minute. You went to school in Winnipeg, and your high school was named Winnipeg?
I went to high school at Shaftesbury in Winnipeg, and she was telling us about situations that happened, like a knife fight and all this stuff. Maybe an abortion, someone getting like paralyzed, and then another person getting killed. And Nicole, after this conversation with my aunt, told me these were all covered in a season of Degrassi. Your high school is Degrassi.
I'm thinking maybe they got the idea from Degrassi.
I don't think so.
Because my biggest issue in junior high was if my pants reached down to my shoes all the way, so I didn't be made fun of for wearing floods.
No.
Nothing about abortion or
Not that you knew
me
of.
becoming a
Chris,
lesbian
did you ever have to have an abortion? You
I might have been an
personally?
abortion.
But you weren't, and here you are.
No.
So you don't know what everybody is dealing with around you, and that's what this show covers.
Okay, keep going.
All right. Degrassi has over 621 episodes across all incarnations of the series.
620 of them deal with abortion.
No more of them do. It follows the lives of a group of teenagers who lived on or near Degrassi Street in Toronto, Ontario.
So wait. How is it pronounced? Degrassi or Degrassi?
Degrassi. I'm
Then
sorry.
why is that near Degrassi Street?
Because it was separate and then it came together.
But it's not the same.
It follows...
Like the PlayStation.
So wait. Through 620 episodes, they were separate, but after at 621, they came together?
Sure.
Equal? Separate,
Sure.
but equal?
In
Yes.
the 5 main series of the show are The Kids of Degrassi
America.
Street, Degrassi Junior High, Degrassi High, Degrassi The Next Generation, and Degrassi Next Class.
Is it true that Jean-Luc Picard was the principal of Degrassi The Next Generation?
No.
That would have been cool.
To help the show keep its relatability and realism for the young viewers, Degrassi would cast unknown actors, which would always be the age of or very close to that of the character they were portraying. In addition to this, most of the child actors were allowed to pick out their own wardrobe for the show, given only the instruction of pick something you think your character would wear.
The Kids of Sesame Street aired from 1979 to 1986 and is the first series in the Degrassi franchise. It follows the lives of a group of children living on Degrassi Street in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. The series grew out of 4 short films. Ida makes a movie. Cookie goes to the hospital. She was getting an abortion.
Cookie goes to the hospital.
Just getting an abortion.
Yep. Irene moves in, and Noelle buys a suit.
These are very Canadian things to do, Chris.
These originally aired as after school specials in 1979, 1980, 81, and 1982, which was the year Nicole was born.
Suit? That's a whole special?
Dude, it took me a week to buy a suit when I was in elementary school up there. I went all over Winnipeg.
Is this a big deal in Canada?
Yeah, buying a suit's a big deal.
Do you see? Do you understand now?
I
This is
settled
relatable.
on this very posh...
I've never had this many issues buying a suit. That's all I'm going to
You're
say.
not, you're not in Canada.
Yeah, you have to think of something that's going to, insulate you from the cold and yet not keep you so warm that you're going to, sweat. But you also want protection against mosquitoes, too, if you were going to wear it in summer. There's a lot to balance out
Yeah,
here.
I know.
'Cause you're
I
gonna
know.
have
I know.
one
I grew up
suit.
in Buffalo, New York, where you had to get a Halloween costume that may potentially have to fit over a snowsuit.
Yes, same concept.
I mean, 3 of these could potentially have such gripping storylines, except for Noel buys a suit.
I really want to watch Cookie Goes to the Hospital.
It all depends on what the suit was for when you think about it.
It might have been a chicken suit.
The show dealt with things such as separation and remarriage of parents, as well as ethical problems around honesty and friendship. The respect and praise it received from its viewership was enough to branch out into a more traditional kids soap opera series, which would come to be Sweet Valley High.
Degrassi Junior High.
Oh, sorry, same thing.
I can't see you reading Sweet Valley High. I don't see that.
what the hell
I'm
is
not
Sweet
buying
Valley High?
Isn't it a series of girl
It's a series
books?
of girl books. Yeah, that's what you read after you got done with the Babysitter's Club.
Ooh, I remember that one.
I'm sure you do. The new spin-off kept a handful of the actors from the original program. However, their characters and storylines would be changed upon the start of the new program. It is because of this that Degrassi Junior High is not considered a direct spin-off of the after-school program.
Sorry, I used program so many times. I'm just noticing that now.
No, you don't
Point
say.
it out.
I can't help it.
You don't say. It's like Faraz and exclamation points.
What?
That's
I don't know what...
It ran from 1987 to 1989, and unlike its softer after-school predecessor, this next step in the franchise really branched out to cover the more uncomfortable topics for parents to discuss with their children, such as bullying, alcohol and drug use, sexual and child abuse, teenage pregnancy, and homosexuality. Some of the main characters included Christine Spike Nelson and Archie Snake Simpson, who would reprise their roles in the multiple renewed series that followed.
I just watched a special on Hank Azaria doing his snake voice. I just thought I'd throw that in there.
No.
It was at this time that Degrassi really found the formula to make the show a success for decades to come. Each episode of Degrassi is written following the same formula, like a Marvel movie, with 2 or 3 storylines, plot A, plot B, and sometimes even plot C. Even plot C. Wow. The main storyline, A, opens and closes.
Hey, whoa. Don't break that. It's okay.
Hey!
Opens and closes the episode and is usually driven by a single character. Plot B is usually more comedic in tone and sometimes slightly intertwined with the other stories, often moving story arcs forward. Plot C, if it's actually included, was usually used sporadically in a season-long arc. The problems and issues presented in the episode are not always resolved by the end of the episode, like a Batman episode from the 1960s.
Stop.
And are carried over to the next or create a mini arc over several episodes.
I was
Same Degrassi
so
channel.
proud of you for not mentioning Batman in the last 4 episodes, and now you have to throw it in there.
It's the only way they're going to make it through is to throw in stuff they know. Whatever it takes, I know I can make it through. That is the tagline.
Here's a little trivia for you. Batman wasn't in Degrassi, but Fat Man was.
I know who that is.
Oh, Kevin Smith.
Yes. Apparently Kevin Smith is a huge fan of Degrassi.
Oh, I will tell you more about that later. Don't you worry.
Oh, good.
The Degrassi opening sequence follows a 2 to 3 minute cold open. Initially, as is the case in Canada. Initially, these credits showed the characters on the school premises and followed a mini storyline. Later seasons had the characters breaking the fourth wall and facing the camera,
Like a Deadpool movie.
or Will Smith from Fresh Prince. Over a montage of videos of their character from past seasons, the shot will be saturated with blue color and gold outlines. The montages would depict major events in that character's storyline.
Like abortion.
Or going to the hospital for perfectly innocent purposes.
Leave Cookie alone.
Or buying a suit.
That was a 3-episode story arc.
The producers
What
of the
color should I get, eh?
It should be checkered, you know?
The producers of the show deliberately tried to exclude any references to actual movies and music of the time. This was so that the show would not become quickly dated. Instead, they created their own version of movies like Tender Beats the Heart and Teen Academy. I don't know Roman numerals.
4.
IV.
You do know Roman numerals.
It's actually a hospital movie. It's Teen Academy IV. It was a medical drama.
That also sounds believable. Degrassi even had fictional bands like the Gourmet Scrotum.
No.
What? What?
That's horrible. That is terrible.
What?
the hell? The gourmet
For
scrotum. That's the worst name for a band and a restaurant all in one.
What is going on?
Ugh. What the hell?
The Gourmet,
I'm hurting a little. I'm laughing so hard.
the Gourmet Scum and the Savages.
Because only the savages would go to the gourmet scrotum.
I'm glad I wasn't drinking.
The most popular of these fictional bands, however, was a band consisting of a few students, which was called Zit Remedy, or later shortened to the Zits.
There was also a band.
It's like they just gave up. They went from Zit Remedy to like, we're just Zits.
That happens in music, though.
There was also, of course, Downtown Sasquatch, which was in Degrassi: The Next Generation, which was very good.
You know what that
I
sounds
actually like
yes?
that name. That's a good name.
Downtown Sasquatch.
I will give him
sounds
credit.
like it would go with Gourmet Scrotum.
No, nothing goes with gourmet scrotum.
No, it definitely sounds Canadian, though.
Nothing.
Downtown Sasquatch.
Nothing goes.
That was my nickname for an ex-girlfriend once.
What, gourmet scrotum?
I'm curious as to Teen Academy 1 through 3. There was
It's
one.
IV. It's medical.
Oh, I keep forgetting that. There was one major plot from Degrassi Junior High that would live on through the franchise's changing times. This episode was titled It's Late, and in it, Spike finds out she's pregnant at the young age of 14 after losing her virginity and not using protection. Believing that if it's your first time having sex, you can't get pregnant. That's very true.
As many a guy has said.
Okay, it's false.
You see, relatable.
Oh, God. I just proved her point.
Yeah, no, not to me, because I'm not stupid enough to believe that.
You wouldn't be the one believing that, Chris.
When you're
If you were in high school, you'd be the
14.
one selling that point.
Even when I was 14, we had sex eds way before I was 14. I knew all about the scrotum way before, the gourmet scrotum way before I was 14.
Is sex ed still allowed in school?
It was in
the
my
US?
school.
Yeah, they teach that at the same time as they teach evolution.
I even went
So
to...
it doesn't happen.
It's in the global warming
I went to
section.
private Catholic school,
It's in the
and we
global
had
warming
sex
section.
ed, like in the 7th grade, I think. How old
No,
are
they
people
taught
in
us
7th
early,
grade?
too. But like in today's...
Why wouldn't it? It would
I
be
didn't have
super
sex
important.
ed.
Why wouldn't they?
I
Like,
didn't have any kind of sex ed until I was already in like a sophomore or junior in high school.
I guess that's what the
because they've
internet's
been
for.
like
That's what
procrastinating
Degrassi
it.
is for.
Things are
To
different
give
in
me
Ohio,
the information
apparently,
my school
Chris.
didn't want to give
I
me.
guess we're very progressive.
Yeah.
No, they taught us early, too, in Canada, like Winnipeg and stuff.
Well,
but
then, if that were the case, Spike wouldn't find out that she was pregnant at 14.
Yeah, you need sex ed. I can't believe you never had sex ed.
No.
it's their...
It wasn't even sex ed. It was like we had health class, which covered everything, and then there was like 1 week where we talked about sex ed.
It's been very politicized down here in the States. They've been continuously extending when they're going to teach kids this stuff. And
Well, they
whether
need to
should or
teach
not.
them anymore. They need to teach them in pre-K. That's true.
I just
You all
watched
get
that-
silent on me, but
I just
No,
watched
I agree with
I just
having
watched
sex
that
ed in
episode
public
of
schools.
South Park.
I'm just saying that it's highly politicized down here in the States.
you went to school in New York, right?
Yeah.
And they didn't do
New
sex
York
ed?
City, no?
Did you get sex ed, J.O.?
A little.
What?
What does that mean?
That was
Same
very,
as her?
that was
From your
very
school,
vague.
From your school.
Yeah.
Yes, but
Yeah,
okay.
in
so
health
what year?
class like her?
Yeah, in health class.
Okay.
Do you remember what year?
Middle school and high school, so twice.
Yeah, no, I never got any of it in middle school.
No, I think mine started in middle school too in Winnipeg.
Well, you definitely want children exploring that on their own without any type of formal education, that's
Which
for
is
sure.
why I liked the show, because it definitely talked about stuff that you didn't get the
This
information
is where she got her
from
birds
adults.
and the bees talk.
Yeah. From the episodes I can see.
Okay.
The show earned Degrassi Junior High an International Emmy in 1987 in the Children and Young People category. When parents of the other students find out about the pregnancy, they try to have Spike killed.
No, they don't.
Oh, they try to have Spike removed from the school. They believe that a pregnant student sets a bad example for the other children. Remember, this is in the 80s. Additionally, the father's parents do not want their son involved in any way with Spike and her unborn child. Spike has to complete her studies at home and take her final exams separately from the other students. Was Spike in the gourmet scrotums?
No.
Okay. But she is allowed to attend the end-of-year dance, where she goes into labor 6 weeks prematurely. Of course. That's a perfect time to go into labor.
Yep.
Despite this, she gives birth to a healthy baby girl in the punch bowl named Emma. The following year, she returns as a full-time high school student. Now, I saw
baby
Emma
Bjorn.
episodes, but I didn't see any Spike giving birth episodes.
Well, because that was in Degrassi Junior High.
Okay.
So the stuff that I sent you is all Degrassi, The Next Generation, which is what I grew up on.
This very first show I watched was very
High school.
scary
Yes.
indeed.
The final frontier.
I saw the episode you watched.
Yes, I made
The
him
one
watch
where
it.
she meets an online person and she's like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna meet you."
Yes.
Yeah, and then he offers her pizza.
Yeah, a grown adult offers this little kid pizza and
On
then
the
tries
note-
to rape her.
On that note, the next live episode will feature pizza.
And there will be no children involved.
Degrassi High Pizza. I tried to get my daughter to watch that. And she wouldn't watch it.
Oh,
'Cause
I
she
will
didn't wanna
talk
get-
to her after this.
She was actually
She's already in bed.
She was actually not. I thought she might like the show. I thought it might be up her alley, but she was bored with the whole thing.
Were you trying to have her watch the stuff that you watched?
I tried
Try
that
to have
first
her wa-
episode that you
Okay,
said.
try to
Yeah.
have her watch the stuff that's on Netflix now, because it's more towards
Oh, we
this
started with
Wait,
generation.
the child predator episode was the one you recommended he start with?
No, I didn't recommend
Oh.
anything.
Well, that's what I started
That's
with.
just what he started with.
Oh, I thought that came from you.
I just said watch the
Like,
next
hey, this will
generation.
ease you
No.
gracefully into the series.
I just said start with the next generation, because that's what I am most familiar with, and I will be able to expand more.
Yeah,
I know a lot
it
about
eased
the
me
Next
into
Generation
screaming at
also.
the screen
Like
how
when
stupid that kid
Jordy
was.
LaForge showed up, and next thing you know, like they were talking about the blind kid in school. Data, they were dealing with autism right
no,
there.
no, that was a dream you had after you watched.
Worf was angry the entire time, so they had to deal with that.
You
know?
had too many chicken wings and beer.
All I know is number one was the quarterback of the football team, and no matter what, it's okay. It's okay. Tasha Yar did not last the entire time.
All right. So Degrassi High is the third in the series, and aired from 1989 to 1991. The topics this season dealt with issues ranging from AIDS to abortion, abuse, alcoholism, cheating, sex, suicide, dating, depression, bullying, gay rights, homophobia, racism, the environment, drugs, and eating disorders.
It was
Are there
weird.
more? Because those were a lot of commas right there.
They only had 3 episodes that season.
They did not.
He only had 3 episodes that season.
Yeah, they did one each year. That's why it went from 89 to 91.
The first 2 episodes sparked controversy in the United States. The character Erica decided
Wait. Sparking controversy in the United States? Unheard of.
The character Erica decided to have an abortion. Canadian.
Wait a minute. In the pop quiz, you didn't know who had the abortion, but you wrote this part.
I know. That's why I said I remember it being an E, and I knew it couldn't be Emma because
Okay.
Emma's a terrible person, but
I had
knew it wasn't-
Erica.
Yeah, I know.
No,
I
you
finally
did
got it
not.
right.
Let's see your piece of paper.
That's what I
The
said.
character Erica, the Canadian viewers got to see the full non-edited episode where Erica battles her way through an anti-abortion protesters. One of them is holding up a plastic fetus and warning Erica, please don't do it, it's your last chance. The American version, however, originally airing on PBS, was edited to not show the protesters.
Because protesters are bad.
It's very un-American to protest.
It's very un-American to censor free speech. Another American...
Unless you're on TV. We do it all the time.
Another
Oh, no. Are you
American...
talking about Roseanne again?
Another American broadcaster called The N.
Which I've never heard of.
It was a nighttime Nickelodeon kind of...
Okay.
Like Nick at Night, kind of.
But they just got tired of saying Nickelodeon, so they just
The
went with
N.
The N.
They
That's,
just- like-
that's where I watched
Like the
Degrassi.
Zits. They just gave up.
The N made the decision not to air episodes 101 and 102, A New Start, parts 1 and 2, due to the subject of abortion. They also did not air episode 103, Breaking Up is Hard to Do, due to the references of the abortion made in the previous episode. In Australia, all episodes originally aired unedited in their original run throughout the 1990s, but were censored on Nickelodeon Australia. The episode A New Start was edited in such a way that it appeared Erica was never pregnant by the end of the episode. Instead, it abruptly ended after a joke between Wheels, Joey, and Snake, with Erica only reading her pregnancy test as a still over the credits.
That had to be weird.
Which, by the way, we talked about how all the
It's a
Degrassi...
cliffhanger.
That never gets answered.
We spoke about how all the Degrassi episodes start with a cold open and then going into the credits.
Yeah.
But then the Degrassi episodes end with a still of the characters and like kind of just a...
Like a bad Saturday Night Live skit.
No, it's not a
Yes.
bad Saturday Night Live skit.
No, that's how a lot of Saturday Night Live skits end. When they don't know how to end it, they end it with a still. Yeah.
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 Okay. This is where I'm going to be the most informative. What we're about to talk about.
I can't wait. I cannot contain the excitement over this. It is so
now you know
hard.
how I feel week to week.
Oh, now you know how I feel week to week.
What?
What the hell's happening right
I don't
now?
know. It's so uncomfortable. All right.
Degrassi, The Next Generation, premiered October 14th, 2001. The launch of the series came from the realization that Spike's daughter Emma would be starting junior high, thus entered a whole new generation of students different from their 80s predecessors.
I don't like Emma.
I hate Emma.
I thought you were going to say, I don't like thus.
I hate Emma. She has always been my least favorite character. I'm just telling you
I
that.
don't like her at all. She's stupid.
You're not going to believe this. The challenges that were often seen were sex, teen pregnancy, bullying,
Wait.
roofies, drug and alcohol abuse, body dysmorphia.
Dysmorphia.
Yeah, I said that. And eating disorders, homosexuality, domestic violence,
Oh my god, this is a long ass list.
gang violence, self-injury, suicide, abortion, mental disorders, and death.
I did not go through any of this while I went to high school in Canada.
I went through it all. Every single one of these.
Did you ever know somebody who was gay?
In high school?
Yes.
We suspected somebody was gay, but he's actually married now.
Okay.
That doesn't mean he's not gay.
To a man or a woman?
To a woman.
Okay.
Nobody died.
Did you ever see anybody who you thought was too skinny, like they might not have been eating?
No.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
I dealt with a lot of these things in my school.
I will say that one of the episodes you sent me was on...
Why are you pointing at me? I didn't send you anything.
No, my finger's just in the air. It's not necessarily pointing at you. One of the
You're
episodes that you
literally
sent...
you're thrusting
Now
your
he's
finger
doing
at
it.
me.
No. Nicole sent me an episode, and the girl...
Whoa,
was,
no. You
yeah.
can stop pointing out.
No. The girl
You're
was
the girl for Oz.
exploring her sexuality with another girl.
Oh, yeah, she
Yes.
was.
That was good. That was a good episode.
Paige and Alex, I'm
God.
guessing, is who
For
it
Oz.
was.
I don't know who they
watched
were.
that
Yes.
episode on YouPorn.
It was a blonde and a depressed girl.
Yes.
A cheery blonde and a depressed girl.
Paige and Alex.
What was she depressed about?
Oh, because
Dysmorphia?
that was one
I
of
have
the
no idea.
ones. That was one of the ones with Kevin Smith. That's why I sent it to you.
Oh, yeah. Kevin Smith was good.
Yes.
I liked Kevin Smith.
We'll go on.
Jay was creepy. Jay,
Yes.
very creepy in the show.
Yes.
That's normal. He's always creepy.
I
when
know, but
he's
he
that
was
character.
super creepy because he's hitting on the high school
school.
kids.
Yeah, that's her.
It's
Jay.
legal
Oh,
in
that's
Canada.
Not good.
Is that legal in Canada?
There's I I think it depends on the province.
What's the age of consent? 2?
16.
They're very liberal up there, Chris.
I guess. Yep. Except for Emma. Emma, she can go away.
Yes. Oh, Sam's going to be a very big fan of yours.
Okay.
The majority of episodes are named after songs from the 80s.
Don't you forget about me.
Or Rosanna. Sometimes Africa when they go on field trips. And since the 10th season of The Next Generation, episodes are named after songs from the 90s to the present.
Actually, Don't You Forget About Me was one of the episode titles.
I know.
I know.
And since the 10th season, Ironic was also a title.
Isn't it ironic? Alanis Morissette was in the one episode I watched.
In its initial years, it was frequently the most watched domestic drama series in Canada.
Because they only had the one show in Canada.
That's right. And one of the highest rated shows on Teen Nick in the United States. In 2004, one episode received just under 1 million viewers in Canada and over 500,000 viewers in the US. The series had won numerous awards from the Geminis, Writers Guild of Canada, and Directors Guild of Canada, and internationally from the Teen Choice Awards, Young Artist Awards, and some other
I don't know what that is. You put that in.
Jean-Louis.
That was
That was pretty good.
That was really good.
On that,
I was just going to say, that's why JL gets all the hard.
I know, it
Because
is not fair.
Even if that's not how you say it, it sounds like that's how you say it.
on that note, not too long ago, Canada raised their age of consent by 2 years. It used to be
So it's now 4?
It used to be a 14.
What?
Now it's 16.
See, so now it's not so
14.
creepy when Jay was doing that.
Oh my gosh.
Still a little creepy.
Yeah, very creepy.
They're
Silent
very
Bob wasn't gonna say
mature up in
anything.
Canada, sir. Very mature.
I guess.
Mature.
Mature.
All right, it's your turn. You're up.
Some iconic Degrassi moments include the Emma's struggles with the Emma's struggle.
Sorry. Sorry.
It's okay. I was just trying to know. I wasn't sure if she was referenced as the
No.
Emma.
Oh,
Yeah,
she
she's
is
like
not.
the Rock.
The
Emma says.
The Emma is
says.
the worst. The Emma is the worst.
You guys kept talking about her, and I thought she was like her
When
own.
does Emma leave the show?
Oh, not soon enough. I'll
Well,
tell you that
here
much.
she struggles with anorexia, but is it enough to wear her away from the show?
No,
No,
it's not.
And her on again, off again relationship with Sean.
it's pronounced
Craig's
scene.
Craig's love triangle with Ashley and Manny, which led to years of bouncing back and forth between the two while struggling with bipolar disorder.
That had to be hard.
Why do I get the page turn all of a sudden?
Because Chris is sick of doing that.
Yes, I'm no longer reading between the pages. Why are you holding your paper like that?
Because you stapled it in such a way that I can't read the rest of the paragraph once I hold it. Ellie self-harming herself because she was overwhelmingly responsible. Because she was the overwhelming responsibility of an alcoholic mother while her father is away in the military, in the Canadian military.
Who was this?
He's a Mountie.
Ellie. Ellie.
Is it true Mounties all ride mooses?
Horses, sir. Horses.
I heard
Mooses and
mooses.
nieces.
Marco coming out
They
as...
don't ride moose?
No, a moose is a ferocious creature.
Yeah, it is. That's why you should ride it when you're
It's
catching
like a war
criminals.
rhino. It's very difficult to ride a war rhino.
I mean,
That's
what's
not true. I saw it in Black Panther. It was done very easily.
It's not as intimidating to ride a horse to capture some bad guy robbing a bank. If you come up galloping on a moose, that robber's going to stop.
knights rode horses. They're pretty intimidating.
Yeah, but they had swords. A Mountie just has a belt.
They have a sword.
Mounties have swords?
I'm pretty sure they have swords.
I don't think they have.
Why
I've
would
never
they not
seen
have
a Mountie
swords?
with a sword.
What are they armed with if not swords?
A
Tasers.
belt.
Just a belt?
A belt and a
Tasers.
hat.
Tasers?
Tasers.
They have tasers.
Tasers, a hat, and a belt. That's it. And those pants that flap out at the sides.
Maybe
The-
a lasso.
Yeah,
Lasso
they
would be
have
cool.
they have lassos. I'm sure they have lassos.
Have you ever tried to lasso something from a top of a moose? It's
Not a-
hard.
I think riding a moose is hard.
All right, what about Marco?
Marco came out as gay and had trouble navigating the dating norms, whereas Paige got raped at a house party and later.
Oh my God!
You're saying it so cheerfully. Like, these are...
No. Don't interrupt. I'm enjoying this. This is making me feel better.
If you watched the episodes, it would knock me feel better.
No, I've seen a couple episodes.
They were not on the list of things to watch.
I know. I'm just telling you.
They made me feel bad.
Thank you. Respect it.
Sad. I wanted to.
His upbeat personality is making me feel better as he reads them.
And later lost her trial against her abuser. as is the American way as well.
Yes.
Jimmy getting shot and paralyzed after Spinner blamed him for a vicious prank, which he did not do.
No.
Liberty, the school valedictorian, getting pregnant and giving up her child for adoption. And the father, JL, getting stabbed.
JT!
The father, JT, getting stabbed and killed by a rival school student.
Which is what they call me at softball, too.
Internationally, Degrassi, TNG, has
That is often what it's referred to.
Is
so
it?
fair, yes.
has been highly successful and was being broadcast in over 140 countries. It has launched careers for Shanae Grimes,
Shanae.
who went on to star in the 90210 reboot, and Nina Dobrev, who starred as Elena in Vampire Diaries. Elena.
Sure.
Elena.
I don't know. We didn't watch that show.
There's also, of course, Aubrey Graham, better known to the world as Drake, who played Jimmy Brooks on the show. Jimmy was a basketball star who got shot by another student in season 4. We already
Apparently had long
Yes.
hair and glasses.
Yes.
He was then paralyzed from the waist down, and now popular internet meme. Really?
That's what I said.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The end of Drake's time in Degrassi marked the start of his successful music career.
As for years, I've been wondering why Drake's been in a wheelchair. I just learned out why
Yes.
just a couple days ago.
He released 4 studio albums, all hitting number 1 on the Billboard 200, and won the Grammy for Best Rap Album for Take Care. His other claim to fame is for popularizing the term YOLO.
YOLO!
So, Drake in the show, Jimmy, he was very good at basketball. And then once he was shot, obviously his basketball career was over. So he tried to teach the Degrassi basketball team and
How to YOLO.
how to play basketball while still in a wheelchair. Because, most of what you do in basketball is, of course, your hands guiding the ball.
Mm-hmm. And running.
And, yes. But then, anyway, he decided that he had to... There are Special Olympics where people play basketball in
there is.
wheelchairs.
It was an inappropriate joke
was-
was just totally ignored.
Which was also covered in the
That was
show.
heavy. That was really heavy.
So he figured that he had to branch out and find something else to do to make himself successful, even though he was in a wheelchair. So that's when the character Jimmy started pursuing
Jimmy.
a music career and actually started rapping with the character Ashley, who is also on again, off again with Craig. She was on again, off again with Jimmy. It was a whole thing. So
I need a flow chart for the relationship.
I put up a flow chart on our Facebook page, but if you want to hear some very early Drake rapping, you have to watch some episodes of Degrassi.
When did he turn from Aubrey Graham to Drake?
When
That's the
he
question.
decided to become famous and make a career.
She sounds a sad
Because you don't get
talking-
street cred as a rapper when your name is Aubrey Graham.
You could. That'd be an awesome rapper name.
Talking about this fall of
I'm
Jimmy.
Aubrey Graham. I like Sam.
I eat spam.
She sounds as sad as JL and I did when we talked about Dinobot's fall.
Oh.
Yes, that's true.
We were both very heartbroken over
was
that.
sad. Thanks.
How much sympathy did we get?
You guys
None.
actually bonded over that.
Oh, yeah. I mean, let's just go over the fact that JT getting stabbed and killed was by far, like, that and Jimmy getting shot were two of the most heart-wrenching scenes in all of Degrassi: The Next Generation.
Yeah.
I still cry watching it because you just have the emotional attachment to these characters.
Like Dinobot.
And it hurts. It hurts. It really does.
It did.
You
No,
guys are making fun of me. I don't think you understand.
no they're not
We
making
do.
fun of you.
No,
We're
drawing
agreeing with you.
comparisons to things that we relate to
Okay.
that aren't exactly
Yeah.
the same thing.
No,
So just
they're actually agreeing with
appreciate
you.
that I have pain
So-
in my heart for these events.
The series also had several celebrity cameos, including Natasha Bedingfield, whoever that is.
She's a singer.
Okay.
Unwritten. I got a pocket full of sunshine.
Oh my God! No! Stop! Pete Wentz, a Fallout Boy. Perez Hilton. Is he really a celebrity?
Yes.
No,
No.
He's a celebrity gossip columnist, but
that does not make him a celebrity.
I know, but he's no.
people recognize his name.
Oh yeah, unfortunately, and most notably Kevin Smith and Jason Mewes. I met Jason Mewes.
Ooh.
Kevin Smith, who is a very big fan of the show, praised it for its coverage of real teenage issues and not just typical relationship drama. Smith insisted on directing an episode for the series, but due to contracts with the actual crew, he was unable to do so, although they probably should have allowed him to do one episode. He's Kevin Smith, for gosh darn it. He did star in a few episodes in Season 4, portraying himself filming a fictional movie called Jay and Silent Bob Go Canadian A.
It was great. So you said that you watched
I watched all the Kevin Smith episodes.
and it was funny.
I have to point out here, though, A is written with a period. A is always with a question mark.
No, it's written with the period there because it's the end of the sentence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there should still be, if you're doing the...
You can't put a question mark and then a period. That wouldn't make any sense.
It
That's
would be
grammatically
quote,
incorrect.
unquote, no?
It's funny because
No, it's only in quotes because it's the title.
you want to graduate grade 12, you better learn what the metric system's all about. Because you're in Canada now, eh? That's what.
Yeah,
one of
Jason.
their scenes said.
Jason
You know you can end a sentence with a question mark, right? Like, grammatically, it doesn't have to end
I
with a
wrote
period.
that.
Right.
You could talk to me about it, okay?
But you can't end a sentence with a question mark and then a period.
No, you
It
can't do
should
that.
technically
That's what
be
I
an
said.
exclamation point.
No, that wouldn't make sense.
Why?
No.
You're not going, hey! No, it's eh?
Eh?
No, Jay and Silent Bob Go Canadian, eh?
Kevin Smith was good. Jason Mewes was creepy. Due to falling viewing figures between season 6 and 9, the series developed a daily soap opera format for the summer run of the 10th season. This increased the number of episodes to 44. The 10th season began using present-day song titles for episode names and also dropped the tagline, The Next Generation. With only one original cast member remaining and due to the young audience unfamiliar with the past generation, referring to the series as Degrassi made more sense going forward. Season 13 went back to airing episodes weekly, but still produced more episodes than prior, airing a block in the summer of 2013 and also the summer of 2014.
Yeah, I can contest that I stopped watching after season 10. I think I have the first 10 seasons on DVD, but nothing after that.
What about in Betamax?
I watched them. I watched
VHS?
everything after. No, I watched everything after season 10, but I didn't care to really buy any of it. It just was not as good. I wasn't as invested in the characters.
Are they
were-
still making new episodes?
They are.
Yeah,
We're
on
getting into
Netflix.
that.
Oh, yeah, right.
Degrassi The Next Generation aired its final episode on August 2nd, 2015, after MTV Canada and Teen Nick announced the show's cancellation.
There's an MTV Canada.
On a serious question here, does MTV Canada show music videos?
I don't know.
I would
For
like to
us,
know that.
And I would like to know what the Canadian real world is like.
You are supposed to have all the
Hey.
answers to these Canada
I
questions.
grew up with Much Music, which is, when I was growing up, the
Is that a
Canadian
TV
version
channel?
of...
Which was talked about on Degrassi, just
So
saying.
instead of like MTV Canada Music Awards, is that just what the Junos are?
No. So Much
The MTV
Music...
Canada Music Awards, everybody gets an award because they're that
Oh,
nice.
participation
If
award.
Much Music is still around, Much Music was like the concept of MTV, except they actually played music videos. And that's what I grew up
That's what
with.
did.
MTV was.
It
But that's
was.
not. But Much Music was still that. I'm not familiar with MTV Canada. I've never heard of that, unless
You don't know
that's.
about that?
They play 24/7 Nickelback.
With
However,
occasional breaks for Sum 41 and Avril Lavigne.
Maybe a throwback to Savage Garden.
Hosted by Anne Murray.
however,
with a special Celine Dion Power Hour.
However, in January 2016, a sequel series titled Degrassi Next Class was announced for broadcast on Family Channel in Canada and streaming on Netflix. It premiered January 4th, 2016.
with Principal Shania Twain.
No. The original premise... Actually, do you want to know who the principal was? I mean, I'm pretty sure we might know.
Hold on, wait. Family Channel when I was growing up was very G-rated. It doesn't sound like the
That's because
platform
it's Family
for...
Channel in Canada.
Abortion.
They're
It
very
doesn't
liberal up
sound
there.
like the platform here for Degrassi's concepts. Are they watering down Degrassi?
No.
No.
No. We're going to say it shortly, but you were saying Principal Shania Twain. No, actually, Archie Simpson, that we were talking about from Degrassi Junior High,
Snake?
is, yes,
Cat?
Snake became the principal in Degrassi The Next Generation and is now currently the principal still of Degrassi.
Nice to see they know how to get to the top.
Yes.
What-
Started from the bottom, now
bottom,
we're
raise
here.
Hey,
Yeah.
As Drake
educators
would
up there
say.
get paid.
See? Got to throw it a Drake line there.
Yes.
Aubrey Graham line.
The original premise for Degrassi Next Class was to serve as the 15th season of Degrassi, continuing stories previously explored. Linda Schuyler, one of the producers of the original The Kids of Degrassi Street, and all branches since, said, since we realized that the kids we're talking to today are a new generation from the kids we talked to in 2001 when we came out with Degrassi The Next Generation. Then we were very much talking to millennials. There's a new generation, Generation Z, who weren't even born when that show started out. That was a sobering fact. We've done a lot of research into Generation Z and decided we need a reboot.
Hold on. I didn't hear a quote or unquote.
Also, she didn't quote it properly. She changed words.
Oh.
With that in mind, episodes titled featured a
pound sign
hashtag in front of each episode's title and occasionally referred to current social media trends like hashtag
abortion,
hospital visits,
hashtag it's too late,
hashtag snakes community service.
With the opening theme song still
hashtag Jimmy's new legs.
The opening theme song still comes after a 2 to 3 minute cold open, but does not follow the characters around the school. Instead, a montage of videos and pictures from the characters' social media accounts cycle across the screen. Degrassi Next Class has addressed contemporary or culturally taboo issues such as social media fame and politics, gender fluidity, different manifestations.
Gender fluidity? What's that?
Being transgender, like...
Okay, I thought I was maybe not getting enough water.
No, being transgender or
yes,
not
each gender needs
identifying
different
with
amounts of
any...
water.
Or not identifying with any gender, because there are
You don't have to explain it to me.
Yeah.
I was just making a joke. I knew what it was.
Well, some people listening
Okay,
might
then
not.
explain it.
So, transgender, being born a girl but feeling like you should be a boy, or being born a girl and not feeling like you're a girl and not feeling like you're a boy, and you're just kind of in the middle.
I was
gender
born
fluidity.
a boy, and I like feeling girls, so that works out good for me.
They also cover different manifestations of depression.
She's going to keep going.
Like, it's not always
There's
being...
a lot of lists.
Depression is not always being sad. You can also be overly aggressively angry. That's a form of depression. Or just feeling like you're underwater and you can't reach the surface to get a breath of air because everything is just pushing you down. It really covers that. Political correctness, racism, nonstop coverage of terrorism in the media, and how it has effects on Native Muslims as well as refugee immigrants in social settings, because there are a very abundant amount of foreign refugees in Canada right now, so they are trying to incorporate how those students are feeling, because if you look around these days, people often blame the refugees and the immigrants.
Let me ask you this.
Yes, sir.
Because I only got a taste of a couple episodes. Because obviously I can't watch 76 seasons of the show.
That's okay. I understand.
And I do like the fact that they do address some issues. I made a lot of jokes through this whole thing, but I think it's actually good that they had a show for kids and they addressed some important issues and topics.
Okay.
But you haven't seen most of them. Do you honestly feel? And
I've seen every episode.
Okay, I don't know. This is just. Do you honestly feel they gave the right message each time, or was it here's a message and you make up your own idea, or did they have an outcome for each? Like for the abortion, for example, did they have were they on the side of this is a good thing to have, this is a choice you should have, or this is a bad thing to have? Was there any?
There was both sides always being portrayed. So, for example, like you said, you had Erica as the correct answer for your quiz.
Yes.
And I most know the story of Manny's abortion. So Manny found out she was pregnant.
Did they have two different storylines as far as abortion? Like one maybe went, yeah, this is a good way to go.
Yes,
Maybe one went, this is a bad way to go.
She was Spike's daughter. Spike got pregnant at 14, and Spike decided to keep her baby and to have her baby, and that's why Emma's there. So when Emma, who's best friends with Manny, found out that she was pregnant, she was like, no, you have to keep the baby. What if my mom had an abortion, I wouldn't be here. I am not for you doing that. And then Manny is like, I don't see how I can be pregnant and have a child and walk around this school and have everybody looking at me and raise a child when I'm only 16 years old. I can't do it. She told the father, and the father's like, no, like, let's do it. Let's have a family. Let's do it. And she's like, no, like, I don't know that you're going to be here for me through the entire time. And in the end, it's my body and it's my choice. And Emma.
So you don't feel there was an agenda with any of these issues? It was just more of a presenting it?
They are very,
okay.
They're pretty well middle of the road.
Chris, it's Canada. They were neutral.
And Emma came to Manny's
Was there maple syrup in any of the episodes?
I don't believe maple syrup.
Okay, just checking.
Emma came to Manny's defense because Craig was trying to say, no, it's my baby. And Emma stepped in and said, I agree with you. Like, if I didn't know her and I just saw her and she said she wanted an abortion, I'd be furious with her. But she's my friend, and it's made me realize she has a choice. She has to make the decision about what's right for her. Like, it's your baby, but it's her body, and it's the rest of her life because you might not always be there. So they kind of made a point to present both sides. In the most recent one, Degrassi, The Next Class, racism and political correctness has been a big thing in the media these days, as we all know. And the cheerleaders were going against a rival school that was nicknamed The Zoo. So that school pulled a prank on them, and they said, we're going to get back at them. So they made a poster of all the girls in the school looking like animals, and they made the head girl look like a gorilla, and she was black. So then the girl said, this is racist. You can't do that. And the girl who drew it is white. So she's like, that wasn't supposed to be racist. Your school is called the Zoo. And they're like, you don't understand why we're called that. And therefore, what you did is racist. And it goes.
She did it on Ambien.
She didn't do it on Ambien. It wasn't a Roseanne thing. But what the message was, how some people don't depict what they're doing as offensive to others, and they try to apologize. And some people are still like, that's not an authentic apology. You're not understanding the point. And it's very a lot of what you see these days. People arguing, what you're doing is racist. I don't think what I'm doing is racist.
Right.
Because
they don't live that.
Exactly.
You don't have to live with being called a monkey.
So they're
as a white person. But a black person has,
So they find offense
so it's that whole
to
non-thinking
it. Even if
thing.
it wasn't the intention, they find offense to it. And it's kind of exploring both sides. And that's why since Netflix picked it up, I think they've done an excellent job of exploring these more contemporary arguments that you see happening in today's society. I'm very proud of them.
Okay.
Yeah.
I couldn't make it through a Netflix one.
Really?
Yeah. And the other problem was, and granted, I'm way too old for this show. Mm-hmm. So it was hard to relate for me, and so I tried to get my youngest daughter to go into it. Mm-hmm. But another problem I had with it, and was that I started in the middle. And I think if you're recommending the show, you almost have to start at the beginning, because the stupid Emma character.
Yeah, she's the worst.
Who I
Emma's
hate.
the worst.
You got to go watch Noelle pick a suit.
Yes, I want to see that one so bad. But the one guy, the Joey guy, with the bald head.
Yeah, but see, that's the problem with watching that first episode, because it goes back to Degrassi Junior High and Degrassi
But here's
High.
the thing. I said, okay, well, and he was like a good guy in the show. He's like wise and father guy.
Yeah.
And he's rescuing people and giving them advice. But then I went back and said, well, I'm going to watch an earlier one. And he was a jerk.
Yeah.
He was a jerk in the school.
I
don't know, people can
was back in
change.
school.
But it was just like, it was hard to relate for me.
I mean, if you want to give it another try.
I just want to watch, me and JL, we're going to watch Noel buys a suit.
Okay.
We're going to get
Hey,
popcorn.
Cookie go to the hospital.
And beer and popcorn, and we're going to watch this guy buy a suit.
Damn right.
If you want, I can just read this last paragraph while that was left.
Yes, there's just one paragraph left. Season 1 of Next Class featured characters who were introduced starting in seasons 11, 13, and 14 of Next Generation.
A little more enthusiasm.
No, this is enthusiasm. The first and second seasons featured 19 regular roles. Oh, I thought there was going to be more to that sentence. To keep ties to the early seasons of the previous incarnation and the franchise as a whole, Stefan Brogren's character of the principal of Degrassi Community School remained. The second season featured many cameos from Degrassi, The Next Generation, for the 500th episode of the franchise series, and the episode was aptly titled # Throwback Thursday.
Yes.
I think they should have Kevin Smith as the principal.
That would be nice.
That would have been cool.
Now, a couple of days before we recorded this, Drake dropped his music video for the song I'm Upset, his song I'm Upset, and he reunited a ton of Degrassi celebrities, and including Jay and Silent Bob. And it was a wonderful surprise to me amid writing the script for this week.
Cool. Well, let's do the fishbowl facts.
These two look super bored, and I'm sorry.
I'm not bored. I was actually intrigued with Chris asking questions. If there was each episode, like he was saying, covers a specific topic, and you've listed several topics. So, like, Chris,
if you have questions,
no, like he was just asking if it was portrayed with like an agenda in mind. And then since they covered like say abortion several times, obviously you covered that they were portrayed from one side to the other. So I assume one said, yeah, this isn't for me. And another said, no, I'll keep this child.
There was an instance where a girl found out that she was pregnant, but she had pushed aside the symptoms for very long, and it was too late for her to abort. So she had the baby, and she and the father tried to keep the baby, and then it was so much, and child services got involved because something happened, and she's like, what about adoption? What if we just find a healthy home for this baby? So they even had somebody go through with having the baby, trying to keep it, and then giving it up for adoption. They had one where the mother, Liberty, had the baby, and that same day the baby was in somebody else's care.
I think
she just gave it right up for adoption. They covered all the different possibilities.
I think the agenda question came up because, like, when we were all in high school, I think, like Chris was saying, his biggest concern was making sure he had the right pants on.
Yeah. For me personally,
my biggest concern was making sure my dial-up would connect when I got home. So, like, I think it was just hard for me to relate to, like, all these lists of issues that kids apparently go through now in high school.
Yeah. Well, there was one where JT and Toby's parents were out for the night, and JT was over at Toby's house, and they were going to watch porn together, and then the dial-up connection fell because, dial-up back in the day, and then there was a fire, like a parent protection. They finally got through it.
Two guys are going to watch porn together?
Yeah.
You've never done that?
Come on, Chris.
No.
It's Canada.
Guys watch porn together in Canada?
Then they're dial-up.
I would just invite you over.
He's excited about it.
I was like, say, hey, man, I'm going to have a beer. You want to join me and watch some Pornhub?
No.
Eh?
Dude, for us, if it were Canada, their dial-up wouldn't have died on them.
So the dial-up didn't work. Then they
we have
finally
that net
got
neutrality thing, eh? It's cool.
They got past the parental
Does the
controls.
guest get to pick the porn, or does the host get to pick it?
I think the host would defer to the guest.
Okay.
I'd be uncomfortable.
You willing to watch?
We could have
what I
some
wanna
fried
watch?
chicken, eh?
What if
I'll bring the Publix.
you get together with the other guy and you guys want to watch porn and he's into something really weird like Canadian Mountie moose porn?
I think that's when
that could be an episode.
You could learn the truth about your friends on what porn they pick when they come over.
That could have been an episode easily as good as Noel Picks a Sea. It could have been Chris and his friends watch porn.
All right, fishbowl facts.
Yeah.
And then let's rate the beer.
Facts from a fishbowl. I appreciate all of you gentlemen putting up with me talking about Degrassi.
No, it was an interesting show.
I'm just saying.
I can see where it was very popular.
There are times where I'm the one of the four who doesn't know anything, and I appreciate the three of the four listening to something that was very special to me growing up and is actually somewhat prominent in pop culture.
I learned a lot. I had no
learned a
idea
lot.
Drake came from this.
Yeah.
And I didn't know Kevin Smith.
Oh,
was big in it.
you didn't know?
Oh, how about this?
I didn't know.
A fun fact about Kevin Smith.
Who?
Kevin Smith.
I think she said Kevin Smut.
Yeah.
I
was-
know. She's thinking about
We're
that
still on the
porn.
porn topic.
I tripped over my words. Kevin
you get
Smith,
back up?
when he first...
Jimmy wouldn't.
When he...
Oh,
my
shit.
God! Oh,
Vicious.
We're so insensitive.
Savage. Kevin Smith...
Only to Jimmy, because it's Drake.
And not true. In case anyone, he was a character in a show that got shot, not in real life. Anyway, go ahead.
Kevin Smith, when he first sold the idea for Clerks and he made all of his money, the first thing that he wanted to do was buy the entire Degrassi Junior High and Degrassi High catalog. And that's what he spent his money on. And
It's expensive.
yeah,
Like the Sears catalog.
He called them up and they were like, it's going to be a lot of money. He's like, money's no object. And it was like $8,000 for him to buy the entire catalog for Degrassi at the time.
And they still wouldn't let him direct an episode.
No.
I know, that's crazy.
There are contracts for a reason. I mean, I understand
It's
why.
Kevin Smith.
I know.
Exactly.
I'm sure he would have done it for free.
I bet if Steven Spielberg walked in there, they would have said, oh, yeah, direct the whole
Yeah,
season.
no, but instead they watched Jersey Girl and went, ooh, Kevin Smith, no, we don't want you to
No,
direct.
we're passing.
All right. All three members from the classic Degrassi band, the Zit Remedy, could actually play their one song, Everybody Wants Something They'll Never Give Up. The short song, which was written by a 13-year-old boy, used only 3 chords, C, G, and D. Everybody wants something that'll
like
take
every
your
punk song
money
ever made.
and never give up. That's the joke.
But
No.
the question is,
Fishbowl
would the
fights.
gourmet scrotums have done it better?
We'll never know.
They'd be dirtier.
Pat Mastroianni.
Pat Mastromani.
Yeah, him. The man behind Joey Jeremiah. Why does he have such shitty name? Said his signature hat trend started with a beret,
The fedora.
then a fedora. He claims he eventually embraced the hat, but burned them all except for one.
He burned all his hats.
Hell yeah, he only wanted to keep the
He
fedora,
embraced,
not the beret.
yeah, the fedora.
And he went bald.
Yeah, he did.
I think this might have been like one of the only episodes I've seen. Was like he
Oh,
had like a fisticuffs fight with one of the other
Fisticuffs.
at a dance, right? This was at the wasn't this at the child predator episode?
Yes, it was. He
Yeah,
did. He did get a
he-
fight. Yeah.
What was that fight about?
Because the guy, the fiance, was a jerk, and he was gonna sleep with another woman. It was old characters from the Degrassi show from the previous generation.
I think that's what Nicole was trying to tell me. She was giving me reference
Yeah.
points, and I
Yeah.
didn't really get
Say
it.
again, I'm sorry.
You weren't paying attention. We had just had a
We just had,
meaningful
like,
Degrassi discussion.
Yeah, we were talking about a whole like scene that we both
Joey
watched.
punched the fiance.
Oh, yeah, because he was being a dick.
Yeah, he was gonna sleep with another chick.
Yeah.
All right, what's your fishbowl fact?
He didn't even catch that until I told him what was going on. He's like, wait, why are they
I just
fighting?
saw him with another blonde, and I thought it was the same girl.
Yeah.
Oh, no, it was not Caitlin.
It was
Was
Emma.
it Emma?
It was not Emma.
That would have been gross.
Amanda's signature spiked hair was her own hairstyle, and she hated when people would touch it. She also said she was often harassed because of her hairdo, especially by security guards.
Nice.
Yes.
Neil Hope, who played Derek Wheels Wheeler, passed away in 2007 at the age of 35. His last appearance on the show was in 2003.
Yeah, it was.
Poor Derek.
I remember that
It's
episode.
a sad little fishbowl fact.
I know.
There's
This
no,
one
no
is yours.
redeeming.
I picked it out for you.
So sad.
I know that's not how it works, but it's how it works
Forgot
today.
to pick out a fishbowl fact.
The famous building in Degrassi, The Next Generation, is actually a set rather than a real school. Tourists often come to Canada and ask to see the whole school, although it does not exist.
That's right.
I
Lee.
know when I went to Toronto, I was so hell-bent on going to see the set of Degrassi. I didn't care if it was a real school or a set. I wanted to go so bad.
Why? It looks like a school.
I know, but to be in the halls of Degrassi would just make my whole life.
You could go to any school in Canada and that'd
No,
be like
it's
being in the
not the
halls of
same.
Degrassi.
I never knew
I-
this existed when I visited Toronto.
I am
when
wearing
in Toronto,
blue-
looked all around. I never tried looking for this
Because it's a
Degrassi
set.
school.
Look around.
Jump around.
I went to the mall.
By the way, I led
Today!
today. I am wearing the Degrassi
Thank you.
colors, blue and gold. So you know.
Very nice. All right, JL.
I'm not wearing any of those. You're lucky I'm wearing pants.
Yes.
What's
we
your
are.
fishbowl fact? Pantsless man.
Hollywood director Kevin Smith is a huge Degrassi fan and had a crush on Caitlin Ryan back in the day. He eventually went on to make multiple cameo appearances on Degrassi, The Next Generation, from season 4 onwards, and even kissed Caitlin in one episode.
Yes, he did.
Caitlin was pretty hot.
And then she promptly went home and proposed to Joey because she
And then
felt bad.
they never got married.
no, they
broke
did not.
up.
They did break up.
And he had a fight in a gym.
What an ass.
I know. What's your fishbowl fact?
There is a real street called Degrassi Street. Series co-creator Linda Schuyler once lived there.
Cool. Fishbowl facts.
Throughout the entire franchise, there have been 5 main character deaths, 8 pregnancies, 2 of which were Spike's. What? 3 abortions, 4
You
cancer.
looked at Nicole after that like you were in shock. Like, how dare you put so many abortions in one show?
I know.
I told you the 3 abortions.
No, that was 8 pregnancies. Spike had 8 pregnancies.
No.
No, 2
of them
pregnancies.
were
From the
Spike's.
same people?
I don't know.
I bet I could list them all.
4 cancer storylines, 6 school bands, and over 50 love triangles. All right, list them all.
I don't know about the 50 love triangles.
List all 50 love
Oh my
triangles.
god.
We are podcast 42.
Casting for Degrassi Junior High, which aired in 1987, was partially done through flyers and notices in Toronto papers. And the last fishbowl fact, JL?
Stefan Brogren has been part of the Degrassi franchise longer than any other actor. He made his first appearance in 1987.
And
is
Neil buys a
still-
suit.
Yep.
He was a Neil.
Yep.
Noel.
He helped.
Oh, it was a Noel. I'm
yeah,
sorry.
no, he helped Noel buy the suit. He was the salesman. And is still on the program.
Yes. And it is 2008, so that's almost 30 years he's on the show.
Wait a minute. What year is it?
2008, 2018. Shut up. Sorry, not paying attention.
And that's your Degrassi episode.
It's amazing. We've been
Degrassi.
reading this. It felt like 10 years went by the way she just said that.
Oh, my. Don't be bitter.
I'm not. I'm just picking on Nicole.
Let's rate the beer. What was it again?
Oh,
Destihl Brewery's Soundboard Session IPA from their Deadhead
You need a little
IPA
sip to
series.
remember?
I totally finished my beer throughout this script.
You say it like it's a bad thing.
No, it was clearly easily drinkable.
Yeah, easily drinkable,
You didn't-
very smooth.
Beer.
Oh, God.
All right, so what would you rate it?
What's the rating system for us?
I need to get another sip of this beer so I can know what it tastes like first. It's out of 6. That's what I know. It's not... Doesn't make sense. We already covered that several times. It's a 6
You know, he
6
did
point
not-
scale based on a 6-pack. How much can you drink? How many can you drink out of a 6-pack?
Mm-hmm. So how many can you drink out of a 6-pack?
Let's just note that he did not have any objections to an 8-point system.
That's true.
For the fried chicken.
None whatsoever.
I gave up. I
You-
gave up. What?
So why are you giving us crap about it?
I'm
being a
not giving.
6-point
I'm just saying
system?
that it doesn't make sense anymore to object.
And the fried chicken episode will be on our Patreon if you're wondering what we're talking about.
Yes.
So go. So
Doesn't it make
rate
sense
for
anymore?
us?
Beer.
What are you rating?
We're
this
also
beer?
rating labels based on a 6-point scale too. That doesn't make sense. I don't get that. But here we are. We do it. Nothing has to make sense anymore.
What are you rating the beer? Rate the beer. Rate it. Give it a rating. Give it a number. 1 through 6. Any numbers between 1 through 6.
There is
You can
a
have
wash
fractions.
of bitterness in my mouth. At that
I know.
first
Every time you
sip.
talk about the rating system, there's a wash of bitterness.
And yet I enjoy it. I don't understand why I enjoy it.
Yeah.
It doesn't have that. It's an IPA, but it doesn't have that typical fruitiness I associate with the IPAs. It's just full on hops, full on like in your face. I'm a bitter IPA. Here I am. Drink me. And here I am listening to it and drinking it.
Yes.
I don't know why, but I am a slave to its taste, and I must give it at least a 4.
That was the most. That was the most aggressive 4 I've ever heard. I actually agree 100% with everything you said, which is really even funny, and including the rating. I also give it a 4. It is super hop in your face. It's an IPA, which I generally don't like, but this was pretty good. I don't know if I'm just growing as a beer connoisseur or it's actually really good, but I give it a 4. JL? Up, Nicole?
Me? Sorry. It's pretty good. I don't think it's super hoppy. I don't know what you guys are talking about.
Oh, it's hoppy.
It's hoppy, but it's not the hoppiest it could be.
baby beers.
It's as
Yes.
hoppy as Emma.
Ugh, Emma's the worst.
What did
yeah,
Emma
we-
do to make you all
But
hate
yet we
her?
all
Oh.
keep talking about Emma.
Faraz, if you
The
want
more
to,
you all talk with such
Why did
disdain,
you do
she
that in the
sounds-
middle of the beer rating system? We were almost
Faraz,
there.
if you want to know what Emma has done, I will show you
Oh, no.
everything that she has done.
Damn it, JL was right. I shouldn't have said
I
that.
told you.
I will
shut
show
your
you
mouth.
Everything that she has done that has made me
Usually
hate
I'm
her.
the one that doesn't know when to shut up, but nope. You said something. I know what Faraz is watching tonight when he goes home.
Oh, I found out what
Porn!
I found out what dysmorphia
and
is.
Emma. Emma porn.
Emma porn.
So what are you rating it, Nicole?
Emma's the worst. I will rate it a 5. I'm very pleased with it. I almost want to rate it a 6, but I don't know if it's just so perfect that I could give it a 6. So I will give it a 5.
Disappointed.
I know. I'm sorry.
What would you rate Emma?
Emma is a 0. Emma's a 0.
What are we rating people out of?
She just terrible. She's
No,
a
hold
0.
on.
What does it matter if she's a 0?
Is it a 0 out of 0? Or like what's?
Then she would be perfect.
Yeah,
Well,
exactly,
She's not
Nicole.
perfect.
How many people are in the world?
Emma is horrible.
Some
How
7
dare
billion.
you talk about
7 billion. So
Snake's daughter, that
the
way.
I
rating
will-
system for a person is
If you
0
only
through
knew
7 billion.
JL,
Oh shit!
How
And
dare you talk about
I
How
won't-
many of
Snake's
these
daughter
people
that
can you
way?
fit in a room, or can you stand in a room?
All right. So
Emma to me is like the Debbie of Shameless. I hate her.
Never watched it.
wow, you never watched Shameless?
No.
Oh,
so
you gotta watch
understand.
Shameless.
Now you understand how much I hate
You don't
Emma.
watch American Shameless or UK Shameless?
Either.
I've never watched UK Shameless, but American Shameless is pretty good. I think you would
It's
like
the
it.
same.
They're the exact same thing.
Is it exactly the same
That's
storyline?
fine.
Everything?
That's fine, because you know what? At the end of this, I'm rating the beer a 6.
Nice.
Because it's really smooth, and I was done with it almost halfway through this episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was just that smooth. I was trying to keep track of it so I could have some to taste before
Yeah.
the rating, and it didn't happen. It just was that smooth. So I would have to go 6.
Good job. All right. Excellent beer. Let's open up the email.
Oh, sorry. I'm still trying to figure out all the numbers that we had from the fishbowl.
What's
facts.
our email?
You don't know?
No. I'm asking you because I'm going to read the
You
email.
didn't know?
I'm going to let you read what the email is. Like
Our
address
email
and
address
everything.
is podcast42show@gmail.com.
That's fine because guess what? Snickerdoodle88 sent us a nice email. It says,
That sounds like a familiar address.
It does.
Do we get recurring emails from
Yes,
people?
because we have recurring viewers for Oz.
Viewers.
Yes, they listen to us. I agree with Faraz on the urban legend episode concerning the renaming of the Titanic. It's completely ridiculous, and Faraz and I should go out for coffee to discuss the merchant fleets of the 1900s and their impact on economic growth.
I don't remember this at all. What did I say about the Titanic?
I don't remember, but
I don't
this
remember, but
Snickerdoodle
Snickerdoodle
sounds
was enamored
familiar.
by you.
Yeah, I think Snickerdoodle was on before.
I believe so, too.
They wanted
Nicole,
to do
what's your
coffee with
email?
you.
Full disclaimer, I now drink my coffee through a straw.
Why?
It prevents teeth.
My dentist recommended it to prevent staining of my white teeth.
Okay. Well, interesting facts about Faraz.
What?
Yeah, my dentist said that if I want to, because I'm still young enough, I could prevent any more stainings in my teeth, and my teeth can make a comeback if I start drinking my coffee through a straw.
Even hot coffee?
Mm-hmm. So I bought metal straws.
Like rock and roll straws?
No, but they're like solid, like metal straws.
I drink my coffee with a metal straw.
That's really cool. I didn't even know they had metal straws.
Yeah, I didn't know either. They come with like a nifty little pouch from Amazon.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
So, been
so you
looking.
can take your straw with you everywhere you go.
All right.
Really making a
I
chart
am
there?
really making this chart. Okay, so 5 major character deaths. I know there was one who committed suicide in either Degrassi High or Junior High. I know his name begins with a C, and I can't remember what it is.
Chuck.
Maybe Clayton. I don't know. It was
believe
somebody
it's
who
Chuck.
had to go with Chuck.
It's Chuck.
It's Chuck. Okay.
I don't know.
He was with Caitlin.
It's Clayton.
And then
It's
he
Cameron.
was
All
with,
I know is I never went through any of these issues going through high school in Canada.
he was with Caitlin, and then he wound up committing suicide. Then there was also
Yeah,
Rick.
they were CNC Music Factory.
There was also Rick, JT, Cameron, and Adam.
Rick shot Drake.
And then there were 8 pregnancies. I have Spike, Manny, Jenna, Spike, Lola, Liberty, and I don't know if they count.
If you're wrong, you're going to get tons of email. You realize that, right?
That's okay.
Most
I don't
likely
know-
from Snickerdoodle 88.
I don't know if they count Mia because she wasn't technically pregnant when she was on the show. She came into the show with her daughter already born. They had 3 abortions, Erica, Manny, and Lola, and then there were 4 cancer storylines, which were Snake, Spinner, Claire, and I'm missing one somewhere. I don't know who it was.
Aubrey.
I don't know the 6 school bands, and I
Graham.
don't know the 50
Aubrey
love
Graham.
triangles. Boom.
Good job.
Jesus Christ.
I did my best.
We would take you on Drake, or not Drake, but Degrassi Trivia Night. You would be our anchor.
I would would love to.
All right, well, we got two. We got to wrap it up. I've got
Yes,
two,
yes. I'm
two
sorry.
quick things.
Yes.
We are currently in a campaign with 2 pods a day. Introduces podcast listeners to 2 independent podcasts every day for the month of July.
Yay!
They'll give visibility to some of the great indie podcasts that you probably never heard of. To find out more, follow the hashtag 2 pods a day on Twitter, and they also have a website and Facebook. You can discover us and other pods with this campaign, so that's really cool.
Yeah.
And then our Patreon. We've been talking about our Patreon, and not only is there stuff that you can sponsor. Well, if you sponsor us, you get scripts and extra audio, extra shows, but there's also free stuff on there too, so you can follow that and get a ton of free stuff. That's all. That's all my announcements.
No, it's awesome. Lots of good stuff happening. We're happy to have everybody listening. We hope you want to join our Podcast 42 show group page on Facebook, because we post a lot of fun stuff, a lot of memes, a lot of participatory
A lot of Drake
things.
memes.
Yeah.
Tons of Drake memes.
Not tons of Drake memes. There's a
I'm
lot
going
of
to go find some now.
There's a lot of Star Wars memes and other funny stuff, so don't worry, it's not all Degrassi, I promise.
No, it's mostly Star Wars, but other things as well.
No Batman memes.
No.
Well, whose fault is that?
Go find a Batman meme. Post
Yeah.
it tonight. That's a challenge to you, Faraz.
Yeah, it is.
The funniest Batman meme you can find. I posted a Batman meme a week ago, I think.
I like the meme that I posted with Boba Fett finding Where's Waldo and Carmen Sandiego. Like, because he can find anybody.
It's true.
Even the bottom of a Sarlacc.
Oh.
Oh.
All right, who are you guys?
I'm Nicole Fasone.
I'm Christopher DeVos.
And I'm Faraz. Hey.
And I'm still JL.
Snarky as ever.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Fare thee well.
You are no longer listening to Podcast 42.
Some of the stuff you just heard might have been embellished, made up, or just plain incorrect. In other words, don't use this show to write a book report with. You will get a bad grade. Just like all the hosts.
But I'm not done yet.
JL's Beer Cooler is written and performed by Cremo. Cremo is an award-winning actor and musician. For all things Cremo, including more great music, visit Cremo.com. That's spelled Craymo. He is on Twitter at Cremo. Facebook, just search Cremo Music, and also on YouTube under, you guessed it, Cremo.